Hello, everybody. Welcome to my webinar today. My name is Muki. I have been an entrepreneur for 29 years, invested in 19 startups with 3 successful exits, 7 failures, and bootstrapped 5 companies. Pepper Square is my 8th startup, and the last 20 years of my journey is filled with great learnings while working with some of the finest minds in the industry. Life is all about individual experiences. In the next 20 minutes, I will be sharing insights on how leading companies are transforming their businesses by focusing on customer experiences. I will open the Q&A at the end of the presentation. Brands that fail to innovate. MySpace was launched in 2004. It had 90 million users only in the US. MySpace interface was clumsy that confused the user. Facebook refines its strategy and design, and MySpace was killed. Blockbuster was the largest video rental company in the world with 9,000 stores with over 50 million members. It was stuck to its old business model while Netflix redefined the experience of how we all see movies. By late 90s, Polaroid was a top seller of cameras and held a monopoly in the instant photography market with 65% gross margin on instant film. Can you believe that? Polaroid had invested millions of dollars in R&D of digital cameras and had a working prototype long before their closest competition. Polaroid ignored the potential of digital cameras. They went bankrupt. I used to love Sony Walkman. Walkman was a market leader for 20 years. While Sony failed to foresee the mega trend, Apple took the lead and changed the world of music with iPod. In the next 3 slides, I am going to show you 3 companies that thrive on customer experience. Nokia versus iPhone. Nokia was a rock-solid phone and a pioneer of the mobile revolution, whereas Apple reimagined the mobile phone with a focus on individual experience. Both built for seamless communication, only iPhone offers a lovable experience. Beamer is an engineering marvel, but Tesla stirred up the traditional market with a distinct buzz of self-driving capabilities, incorporating futuristic design. Both engineered for performance. Only Tesla offers disruptive customer experience. Wired versus wireless earphones. Wired earphones are clumsy. AirPod removed the physical restrictions that made them fluid. Both built for innovation in audio tech, only AirPods offers on-the-go experience. If you think good design is expensive, you should look at the cost of bad design. In 2020, Citibank accidentally transferred $900 million instead of $7.8 million using a software called FlexCube software. What you see is FlexCube software. This occurred due to the poorly designed and confusing interface of FlexCube software. Following a legal battle, Citibank lost $500 million. In Amazon App Store, in-app purchases did not provide enough notice and password requirements to prevent unwanted charges to parents. Kids made in-app purchases and spent hundreds of dollars. Amazon lost the legal battle and had to refund up to 70 million to its users. Can you believe that just 2 softwares, 2 companies lost $570 million just because one single interface? What people value most in their customer experience. This is a brilliant research by PwC. The x-axis shows the level of importance for customer service, whereas the y-axis shows what customers are ready to pay for. I'm going to show you two different set of data. The first one, if you carefully look at it, it starts with charitable, global presence, atmosphere. But fun is given 45% of experience by customers. Next is social responsibilities. The next one, which is bigger than all of them, is loyalty program. Up-to-date technology, of course, it's needed. We can't afford to let go of that. Knowledge service is becoming the key today because people are driven by progress. And what is life without learning? If you compare that with some of this experience-driven economy, design and brand image are one of the keys along with unique experience. Your product, your service has to have that uniqueness which stands out from the crowd. Personalization today is the key. Easy mobile experience is something which people ask for, but it's a default today. Whatever said and done, we are not building products or service for robots or machines. It's for human interaction. Unless until your product or service touch the heart of the customer, it's surely going to fail. It's not going to create a lovable experience. Easy payment are one of the most important reasons why people want to spend less time while doing transactions. And this is seeing a phenomenal increase in countries like China and India, where there are a number of digital payment systems which are available. People don't touch the currency notes anymore. Friendly service, without any doubt, that comes number one. Convenience. Human beings are driven by convenience and comfort. The most important here is efficiency. Time is the only asset we have. And what is life without saving time every single day? The more you help your customers save time, and that's when you create a winning formula. So what is the future of customer experience? Personalization is the future. I'm going to show you 3 interesting data points. 50% of people say that they won't consider purchasing from a brand that has a poorly designed mobile app. 74% of users leave websites that show them content not related to their interest. The last one is 56% of people experienced a boost in engagement because personalized marketing. It's very important to understand as a product owner, as an entrepreneur, as a senior executive of an organization, that if you are not creating a personalized experience, it's going to be impossible for you to create that connect, heart-to-heart connect with your users. Today, there are phenomenal marketing automations and technology which is available. You can utilize them in a jiffy. And it's not like what it was even 5 years ago. The technology is changing every single day. It's all about how you are creating that experience. Designed by humans for humans. Steve Jobs advises stepping out of the building and meeting potential customers to learn about the challenges they are trying to solve in their life. When you understand your customer problems, you can design solutions that are meaningful. People ask me, Muki, what is the best way to build the customer rapport? I always tell them it's listening. It's not about solutioning. Anybody can create solutioning today. I tell people that any generalist can solve a problem. Any generalist can solve a problem, but only a specialist can find a problem, curate that information, put it in a frame, and create a winning formula. So it's very important to be a specialist today than just a generalist. But being a generalist, you'll get to understand how people think and live their lives. There is a tectonic shift happening in the way people experience your product and services. Very few companies have understood how not to complicate user experience. What is stopping companies from creating a customer experience that is delightful? The current landscape of solving the business problem with tech has 4 parts in it. The first one is they define a problem. The second one, generate alternative solution. The third one is evaluate and select an alternative. The last one is implement and test it. Technology is an enabler. Without technological advancement, we won't be talking to each other. Companies are focusing on software and hardware of technology, but rarely do they prioritize on the software and hardware of humans, which is the true enabler for experience. The enabler for experience is not just technology, but it is the human connection. How do you solve problems with design? I have created this methodology based on my 30 years of observing people's behavior. They include 3 things. The first one is customer experience. The second one is better choices. What is life without choices? The third one is the abundance opportunity which we are all experiencing every day. Emotions are the lowest level of consciousness, whereas empathy is the highest level of consciousness. The product and services we use habitually alter our everyday behavior. Situational clues are the things we do with little or no conscious thought. Every single habit is created unconsciously. It's scientifically proven. Triggers and habit cycle belong to this group. To be a successful product and increase engagement, it is important to engineer action. So how do we engineer action? Unprompted user engagement is possible only when we build user habits. Influencing customers to use your product on their own again and again without relying on call for action, which means what we call it as a nudge technology, is creating tremendous amount of stress. So it's very important for you to understand that customers should use your product. When they love your product, they use your product often. Understanding the frequency of product usage is of paramount importance to help them make better choices. It is to do with what I call it as mind monopoly. The new behaviors to really take hold, they must occur often, just like the way how we floss. Product and service success does not stop with earning profit, but creating a lovable experience that your customer die for every day. The concept of we have created a great product and customers will love is dead and gone. Go where your customers are and do what they are doing to understand how they are going through experience, their difficulties, their pain points, their happiness, their challenges. Isn't it all our actions are driven by data about experiences we have had on what we liked and what we not liked? All this goes on into making decisions about our life. It is in some sense, the whole world is analytics. That's why I say glory, let glory be in the data. Today, it's so easy to figure out data on how customers are connecting or creating touch point with your product or service because numbers don't lie. Technology is our lifeline. The one who learns to use to their advantage to solve the problem is the winner. Hooking the audience. I'm going to explain how, whether you have a product or a service, you can hook an audience. The first is user behavior. Whatever said and done, if we don't understand our users, there is no way we can succeed. There are 2 important reasons, and all of us do the same thing. We don't like to click too many times. We want things to happen so fast. Today, we don't want to click at all. We want things to happen just like that when we are thinking of it. For example, when you say, hey Siri, you are not touching the phone. So 7 seconds to make a decision. What is it? Something else I can help with. Look at that. Siri is picking it up when I said, hey Siri. That's the way life is changing. It has changed already. 7 seconds it takes to make a decision. I call it as a 7 seconds itch. So we all take just 7 seconds before taking any decision. And If it takes more than 7 seconds, we lose interest. Today, do you know that all of us who are listening to this, who are part of this webinar, we take exactly less than 25 seconds to decide whether we want to use this product or not after we download it. This is the data coming from Apple and Google. The next and the most important thing is user stimuli. Emotional connect. The emotional connect you create with your product and service is what creates the promise, because you are not there. Your product experience is your marketer. It's your storyteller every single time. Fulfill user expectation. Unless until you focus on fulfilling user expectation, your product has failed to create that heart-to-heart connection. The last one in user stimuli is, whatever said and done, your product can be so beautiful, it can be of great technology, but if it doesn't evoke further interest for the user to move forward, it's surely going to fail. The last one in this case is the user navigation. How do you create user navigation? When I say user navigation today, users don't want you to just navigate them, but they want you to be a guide, which means when they require you, you should come in like a genie and then help them. Users today, all of us here, we don't like to scroll down. We just scan. We don't like to read. We want to take immediate action. Whether if you're on a computer screen, you move from left to right. If it is mobile, you go from top to bottom. Triggering action, as I said earlier, is the most important factor in user navigation. When we make sure that all these points are taken care, that's when we make a decision. This is the last slide I would like to show you. Companies that are failing to innovate today. These two popular companies changed the way we connect and entertain ourselves. That is Meta and Netflix. Will they lose out like MySpace, Blockbuster, and Nokia? Yes, surely yes, if they take the decisions based on the boardroom ideas and by not focusing on customer experience. Thank you for listening, and we will send you this recorded version to you later. I will open the Q&A, post your questions, and I'll share my insights as much as possible. Before all that, I have one important message to all of you. Focus on food, health, and live a joyful life. Thank you very much. I will take your questions now. Manju is saying, hi, Muki, hi. I love this. Thank you so much, Benazir. And Dave is saying, Muki dropping some real gems. Thanks so much, Dave. William is saying, thank you so much. Karthik Chandrasekharan, hi, Karthik. Welcome in. Awesome insights, Muki. Thank you. I'm sure all of you. Ramya, thank you so much. Today, what we do is we work with many customers across America. And one of our new customers whom we have been working with in the last 3 years, we have learned so much. They are the largest restaurant chain in the world. And we are touching upon close to 400 million walk-in customers using our product, which we have designed for them. And there is tremendous amount of learning. We have been learning from them. Hold on. I got here late. Thanks so much. So Karthik is asking personalized marketing, how far it can go in the future. I already think that FB listening to me all the time. Brilliant question, Karthik. I say this all the time that when I keep my Instagram open and when I talk, immediately 5 minutes after that, I see ads based on what I spoke. These are all one of the reasons companies like Google and Meta has been paying billions of dollars as penalty in various countries. And personalized marketing, when I mean, if we really use the analytical powerhouse which we have, we can learn so much from them. There is no need for us to tap into customers' privacy. It's absolutely not required. The way we talk about AI, but I don't think we have really used the power of AI, because there is so much we can use it, which doesn't have to be intruding to our privacy. I'm against any companies which are intruding to our privacy. I would say that company which intrude less into our privacy is Apple. That's my personal understanding. Erika is saying, thank you, Muki. Fantastic presentation. Thank you so much, Erika. Paul is saying how important is the concept of location and understanding where a user is when thinking about personalization. Brilliant question, Paul. As I said, when we are working with one of the largest restaurant chain, we are using geo tagging. Geolocation has become the number one factor today to understand. What we are doing is we have implemented geotagging technologies, geolocation, to identify where the customers are coming, and based on that the delivery of the food happens, right? So when we talk about geolocation, you are not giving any other data than just sharing which part of the location you are in. That helps them to make sure that the product is ready to be delivered, right? So it's extremely important. It has its own loopholes, but there are great companies who have come out with brilliant solutions for that. We can always share more information on that. One of my team members can take your email ID and send you some exciting stuff happening in the geolocation. Manju is asking, I liked empathy, living in customer shoe and learn the requirements. Today, what has happened is companies across the world are focusing on revenue and profit. I'm sure it's very important. Being an entrepreneur for so many years, it is important. Without that, the company will die. But what we are not doing, only very few companies are doing today, especially after COVID, we have realized that coming together is everything, right? As a family, as friends, as an environment. Companies must start defining the entire culture of the company, vision of the company has to have environment in it, has to have societal connection in it. And that's where the future of business are going. William is asking, what has been your experience with the digital marketing of SaaS application? Any marketing, William, any marketing is harder. I always tell entrepreneurs, because I have been a failed entrepreneur for 7 times and I've lost my life saving till I figured out what is marketing. The day I understood what is productivity and marketing, and that's when I started changing things. We create fantastic products. We have billions of ideas, no doubt about it. But these ideas, either they stay in the hard drive, they don't come to life, or we create the idea, we don't market, thinking that people will come to us because we have created a great product. Both are wrong. Because how do you make sure your customer knows you are alive? You exist there only by marketing, which means we got to create visibility. I always say there are 3 things which are important in marketing. The first one is visibility. One must create visibility. You should never feel shy about it. Many of the greatest, they're very shy. The reason is the great minds don't like to market. Cut that idea, start creating visibility. Unless until you create visibility, they are not going to experience your product. The second one is, just because you create visibility, you are not going to take your product forward. Because like Manju asked about the empathy, how to create that empathy is by creating that proximity between you and your customer. The third, when you create the visibility and proximity, you take care of your customer, automatically you create loyalty. Ramya is asking and helps with local promotions. Absolutely. Geo-fencing, what is called today, creates phenomenal amount of local promotions. I'm going to take up some more questions. I think Ben is asking, do you think AI one day would take over in such a way that human touch, especially in outreach, would become ineffective? This is a fantastic question. See, this is whatever we are going through with AI is what we spoke about computers. Whatever we are going through with AI is what we spoke about automation. None of them has taken over our life, but what it has added is it has made our life much more comfortable, much more convenient. The earlier days, you need to call somebody to ask the taxi or a cab to come and pick you up. Today, you just create that the cab driver reaches out to you, which means sitting in your house, you can do many more things till the time it arrives. Any kind of technology or automation or AI is helping us to make sure that we have more time. Remember that time is our only asset. There is no other asset we have in our life. So the one who learns to effectively use time is the winner in life, whether it's personal or professional life, because we have only so much time. All of us have the same amount of time. How is that somebody is able to do phenomenally well in life and one is not able to do that? Because they don't understand that time is of essence and they don't prioritize time. I would strongly say that prioritize time. One of the greatest thing I would suggest is read a lot of books. I used to read very less books, which is around 8 years ago. I used to read one book maybe in a month. Today I read 15 to 20 books a month. You can also do that. This is one of the greatest books I always suggest. This is called One Thing. It says the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results. It's a brilliant book. All of you should buy it and read it. And I would strongly advise you to read many books, because knowledge creates bias, whereas constant learning helps us to be in the present. What does it mean? Most of the time, we create solutions for the newer problems based on our older solution. Rather, you should solve new problems with a emerging solution, right? Which means you are in the present. You are not stuck to the past, because past brings sadness and future brings worry. When you live in the present, that is when you understand what people are going through, right? Nikita is asking, how much is too much personalization? That depends on how much you want to give away, how much of your freedom you want to give away. Let me take this away from the business. The highest value in life, Nikita, is not love. Love comes second, is freedom. Freedom is of highest value in life, anywhere for anybody, whether it's animal or us. Freedom of its highest value. The second highest is love. So the more you personalize, the more you are giving away your freedom, which means you are allowing companies to come and jam you up. It's called a nudge technology, right? Nudge technology is keep on pinging you with notifications. I have no notifications in my cell phone. By doing that, what I do is I make sure that I use my brain. I call it as an internal navigation system. When I travel across the US, as much as possible, I try not to use Google Maps, because it makes me remember things. We have lost all this. 20 years back, we didn't have Google Maps. We all used to go through by printed maps. And in the late 90s, I remember driving in the US without maps, because I don't like to read and then drive, right? I'm not used to that. So too much personalization is a choice which we need to give. If you have any other questions, I would love to answer. And thank you so much for coming in on time, and I really appreciate it. There are still some more people in the call, in the webinar. So if you have any questions, I would like to answer those. Otherwise, I can shut it. We would be very happy to send you this particular video. And after maybe in a couple of days from now, we will edit this and then send it to you. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.